Coming up next on your Superstation, those crazy strong men give you something to cheer about on Championship Wrestling from Georgia. Then Gregory Peck, Anthony Quinn, and Omar Sharif star in Behold the Pale Horse. Today on Superstation, WTBS. Coming up next on Superstation, WTBS, Alan Ladd is an officer who must fight a war on more than one front, the Deep Six. Then the Jesse James Gang rides again in the Great Missouri Raid. Here on Superstation, WTBS.
Coming up next, find out what kind of trouble an angel can cause on Down to Earth. Next on Superstation, WTBS. Coming up next on your Superstation, it's Championship Wrestling from Georgia with the strong men the fans go crazy for. Then, stay tuned for Jane Dean's debut role in the original East of Eden, a Hollywood classic. Today on your Superstation.
Coming up next, it's Hollywood Classics. Today, Gary Cooper faces off against Burt Lancaster in Veracruz. Next, an Indian chief is killed, and a white man must pay for it in Fort Yuma. Today on Superstation, WTBS. Coming up next, love and success clash when Robert Mitchum and Susan Hayward star in The Lusty Men. Then, Charlton Heston and Ann Baxter must fight for what is rightfully theirs in Three Violent People. Today on Superstation, WTBS.
Coming up next, Gregory Peck stars in the story of life in the Deep South, To Kill a Mockingbird. Then, Susan Hayward is on a wagon train bound for California in Thunder in the Sun. Here on Superstation, WTBS.
Coming up next on the Superstation, stay tuned for medieval drama and romance when Charlton Heston stars in The Warlord. Afterwards, two women wreak havoc on a town when their moonshiner father is killed in Dixie Dynamite on Superstation WTBS. Coming up next, it's mystery and romance when Cary Grant and Grace Kelly star in To Catch a Thief. Then a research team gets trapped in the fourth dimension when an experiment goes wrong in Journey to the Center of Time. Here on Superstation WTBS.
Coming up next, Dustin Hoffman and Faye Dunaway star in the action-packed Western Little Big Man. Then the Atlanta Braves slug it out with the Montreal Expos. Little Big Man is next on Superstation WTBS.
Coming up next, all your favorite grapplers take it to the mat. It's grudge match after grudge match on Mid-South Wrestling. Next on Superstation WTBS. Coming up next on your Superstation, it's America's game, the NBA. Tonight, the Denver Nuggets and the Portland Trail Blazers scramble for a playoff position and the last game of the regular season. Then, hold tight for a whirlwind wrap-up of the weekend sports on the Coors Sports page after NBA basketball on your Superstation.
Coming up next, Sir Lawrence Olivier narrates a Superstation special presentation, The World at War, Part 1, a look at Hitler's rise to power. Then it's America's Super Shootout, Round 2 of the NBA playoffs, when Alex English and the Denver Nuggets take on the Utah Jazz. But first, it's The World at War on Superstation WTBS.
Coming up next on Superstation WTBS, the Emmy award-winning series continues, The World at War. Then join Kevin Christopher and Nick Charles for the Week in Sports on the Coors Sports page. The World at War is next on Superstation WTBS. Coming up, Pro. Then Shazam! It's Gomer Pyle with enough laughs for an army. Here on Super WTBS. Following World Championship Wrestling, stay with the Superstation. Next, toxic waste. It's all around us. See what's being done about it and what's not on National Geographic Explorer. Next. Stay with the Superstation. Next, soar into a new dimension of sight and sound with Power Play. Exclusively on the Superstation. Next.